That expiry date printed on your food? The food industry put it there to keep you buying more. Not because the food is actually dead. Right now, sitting inside your local grocery store are foods that outlived ancient civilizations. Foods that survived wars, blackouts, and supply chain collapses. Foods that bacteria physically cannot touch. Today, Food Scanner is revealing 20 of them. Stack these correctly, and your pantry becomes a fortress that time itself can't break into. Let's scan. The list number 20, Worcestershire sauce. That dark bottle collecting dust at the back of your fridge, it's actually one of the most shelf-stable liquids in your kitchen, and almost nobody talks about it. Here's why it survives. It's fermented and heavily salted before it ever reaches the shelf. That combination shuts down bacterial growth before bacteria even show up. How to store. Keep it sealed, cap tight, away from direct sunlight. Unopened, it lasts years. After opening, it holds strong for 4 to 5 years without going bad. Most people toss it thinking it's gone off. It hasn't. Check it, smell it, use it, sauce sorted. Now, let's bring in the mineral that built civilizations. Number 19, salt. Non-iodized ancient traders carried it across deserts and oceans. Not gold, not silver, salt. Because it didn't rot, it didn't spoil, it just waited. There is nothing alive inside a salt crystal. No fat, no water, no sugar. Bacteria have absolutely nothing to feed on. That's not clever chemistry. That's just what salt is. Storage warning. Skip iodized salt for deep storage. The iodine fades over time. The salt doesn't. Use non-iodized or sea salt. Airtight container, bone dry. Done. Beyond flavor, this is your curing tool, your pickling base, your electrolyte backbone. Few pantry items pull that much weight. Salt is forever. Its twin is waiting at number 18. Number 18. White sugar bacteria need water to survive. White sugar doesn't give them any. It actually grabs moisture from its environment and locks it up. That's why sugar has been used to preserve fruits, jams, and syrups for thousands of years. White granulated sugar, powdered sugar, sugar cubes, stored correctly, they last indefinitely. Brown sugar doesn't make this list. The molasses in it shortens its life. One rule: humidity is the only enemy. If your sugar clumps into a brick, it hasn't spoiled. It just got damp. Break it apart. It's still perfectly fine. Sealed, bone dry, and away from strong odors. And sugar sits in your pantry for decades without going unsafe. Sweetness handled. Number 17 is liquid gold that never dies. Number 17, raw honey. Archaeologists cracked open 3,000-year-old Egyptian tombs and found honey inside. They tested it. It was still edible. This isn't magic, it's chemistry. Raw honey has almost no free water. Its sugar concentration is so high that microbes literally cannot get a foothold. On top of that, it's naturally acidic. Raw versions carry enzymes that actively fight bacteria. Common mistake. If your honey turns grainy and solid, that is not spoilage. That is normal crystallization. Warm the jar gently in a bowl of warm water. It smooths right back out. One rule: keep water out of the jar. A single drop of water changes the chemistry. Other than that, sealed in a cool spot, your honey outlives everything else in your kitchen. Honey is ancient. Number 16 brings the protein. Number 16, dried lentils. This is the legume you want when fuel is limited and time is short. Lentils cook fast. Usually no soaking required. Hot water, salt, maybe a stock cube. And you have a real meal in 20 minutes. They store forever because they're dried down to almost no moisture. No water means bacteria can't throw a party, and there's very little fat to go rancid. Upgrade your storage. Ditch the flimsy store bag immediately. Seal lentils in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers or glass airtight jars. Keep them cool and dark. Protein, fiber, iron, folate. In a tiny, lightweight package that lasts for decades. This earns its spot. Lentils are speed. Number 15 is pure power. Number 15, dried beans. They look boring in a bag, but in a real emergency, dried beans are muscle food. Packed with protein, fiber, and iron, they're one of the most nutritionally complete foods you can stockpile. They last because they're dried down to very low moisture. No water means bacteria can't grow, and there's little fat to go rancid. PRO storage. Tip: store them in Mylar. bags with oxygen absorbers, or airtight buckets, and you're looking at 10 or more years of shelf life. Keep them cool, dark, and off the floor. Old beans can be stubborn and need longer cooking times, but they never lose their nutritional value. Never. Legumes locked in. Number 14, feeds billions. Number 14, white rice. If grocery stores shut down tomorrow, this is what feeds the world the day after. White rice is the ultimate low-maintenance survival partner. Here's the key difference: white rice versus brown rice. Brown rice has oils in the bran layer. Those oils go rancid. White rice has had those oils removed. That's why white rice can last for decades. Brown rice can't. The setup: Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. A cool, dark corner. That's it. A 25-pound bag of properly stored white rice offers weeks of security for an entire family. For extra protection, toss a few dried bay leaves into the container. They work as a natural aromatic bug repellent. Simple, cheap, effective. Rice handles survival. Number 13 handles comfort. Number 13, dry pasta. You already know this one from weeknight dinners. What you probably don't know is that stored correctly, it's basically time-proof. No moisture means mold and bacteria can't get started. That's the whole trick. The weak link, the cardboard box. Humidity gets in, pests get in. Move your pasta into airtight bins or vacuum seal bags immediately. Keep it away from heat and sunlight. Do that, and you're looking at 8 to 10 years of shelf life. More importantly, it keeps morale alive when everything else feels temporary. Dinner is covered, grains done. Number 12 covers breakfast. Number 12, rolled oats, steel cut. This is the food that works while you're half asleep. Oats last because they're aggressively dried during processing. Steel cut versions stretch even further. Less processed, more structurally stable, longer shelf life. Humidity is the enemy here. One damp container can wipe out the whole batch. How to store: airtight buckets with oxygen absorbers and tight lids. Stored properly, oats stay usable for decades. They become breakfasts, baked goods, and emergency meals that actually satisfy hunger. This isn't just filler. This is a meal in a bucket. Mornings covered. Number 11 is the fat that time can't kill. Number 11, ghee. Regular butter has one weakness: water. Leave it on the counter and bacteria move in fast. Ghee dodges that entirely. Ghee is made by simmering butter until all the water and milk solids are cooked out. What's left is almost pure fat. Less water means fewer spoilage pathways, higher smoke point, better for cooking under pressure. Bonus: ghee is lactose leaner than regular butter. Many dairy-sensitive people tolerate it better. Keep it in a sealed jar, away from heat and sunlight. Use a clean, dry spoon every single time. Moisture from a wet spoon is the one thing that can damage it. Animal fat locked in. Now the plant fat champion. If this is your first time on Food Scanner, hit subscribe right now. Every week, we flip the label on what you're eating, so you always know what's actually in your cart. Now back to the list. Number 10, coconut oil. Name another oil this versatile. 1 minute, it's frying eggs. The next, it's rescuing dry skin. And somehow, it still makes plain rice taste like a real meal. What makes it a stockpile champion is stability. Coconut oil is rich in saturated fats, and those fats resist oxidation far better than the so-called healthy seed oils that go stale within months of opening. Storage strategy. Keep a small jar on the counter for daily use. Leave the big jar completely untouched in a cool, dark cupboard. Stored properly, coconut oil commonly lasts 2 to 5 years, and often longer. Plant fat done. Number 9 is the liquid that bacteria surrender to. Number 9, distilled white vinegar. If there's one bottle in your kitchen that quietly refuses to die, it's this one. Distilled white vinegar doesn't age like milk or oil. It just sits there, waiting. The reason is simple. It's acidic enough to shut down bacteria before they even get comfortable. That's why unopened jugs can stay usable for decades with no real drop in safety. Storage: cool, dark cabinet. Bottles stored upright, away from sunny windows and warm appliances. That's all it needs. And don't just think condiment. Vinegar is your cleaning agent, your pickling base, and your emergency sanitizer when nothing else is available. Acid. Done. Number 8 has a secret weapon inside the bottle. Number 8, apple cider vinegar. With Mother. See that cloudy, murky thing floating inside the bottle? Most people think it's gone off. It hasn't. That's the mother, alive fermentation culture. And it's the reason this vinegar barely ages. The high acidity creates an environment where harmful microbes struggle to survive. The living culture actively keeps the vinegar healthy. Longevity trick. Some people keep the same bottle alive for a decade by topping it off as they use it. Keep it sealed, away from direct sunlight, and it remains usable for years without refrigeration. Vinegar secured. Number 7 arrives pre-preserved. Number 7, soy sauce fermentation and heavy salt. Do all the work long before this bottle ever hits your shelf. It arrives at the grocery store already preserved, already protected, already ancient in its process. What ruins soy sauce isn't time. It's air and light slowly dulling that deep umami flavor you're actually buying it for. The rule: cap tight after every use. Store away from sunny counters and stove heat. After opening, a cool cupboard or even the fridge slows flavor fade significantly. Never leave the lid loose overnight. Oxygen is the only enemy here. Umami covered. Number 6 keeps its power locked inside a shell. Number 6, whole peppercorns. Here's something that destroys most people's spice shelf without them realizing it. Grinding your pepper too early kills shelf life. Fresh ground smells bold on day 1. Within a few weeks, it's weak and dusty. Whole peppercorns don't have that problem. Their hard outer shell seals the flavor oils inside. That shell is natural packaging that no factory can replicate. The habit: keep them whole. Store in a tight glass jar in a cool, dark cabinet, far from the stove. Grind only what you need for each meal. This one habit keeps the bite strong and the flavor alive for years. Spice locked. Number 5 is the mineral that runs your kitchen. Number 5, baking soda. Have you ever opened your pantry and found something from years ago that somehow survived every move, every clean out, every purge? That's baking soda. While everything else quietly expires, it keeps showing up. The reason is simple. It's not organic food. It's a mineral compound. Bacteria have nothing to feed on, nothing to break down, nothing to rot. Test it if in doubt. Combine 2 teaspoons of vinegar with a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. If it bubbles vigorously, it still has full leavening power. Stored dry and sealed, it lasts for decades. It also works as a deodorizer, a mild cleaner, and an antacid. 3 tools in 1 box. Baking sorted. Number 4, saves your mornings when everything else fails. Number 4, instant coffee. Morning routines don't disappear during emergencies. Caffeine cravings don't either. And when the power is out and the cafe is closed, this powder wins every time. Once coffee is dehydrated and sealed, there's almost nothing left for microbes to attack. No moisture, no spoilage, just caffeine waiting patiently. The upgrade: move it from the flimsy store jar into airtight containers or vacuum packs. Keep it out of heat and away from light. Freeze-dried versions hold quality well beyond 5 years when stored correctly. Properly sealed, instant coffee becomes caffeine insurance you forget about until you desperately need it. Caffeine secured. Number 3 is a survival snack hiding in plain sight. Number 3, popcorn kernels. Movie snacks don't usually scream emergency food, but this one quietly outlives most pantry staples. And almost nobody thinks to stockpile it. Each kernel comes wrapped in a tough outer shell that protects the inside from moisture loss and contamination. That shell is the secret. Critical note: we're talking about loose kernels, not microwave bags. Microwave popcorn bags have oils and additives that expire. Plain kernels in airtight jars with a silica packet, stored away from heat, can stay viable for a decade or longer. Cooks fast, stretches calories, barely needs fuel. And unlike heavy grains, 1 jar goes a long way. Snack locked. Number 2 is a dark horse you didn't see coming. Number 2, dark chocolate. 70% and above milk chocolate is fragile. High sugar, high dairy goes stale fast. But when cocoa content climbs past 70%, everything changes. Sugar and cocoa butter dominate. Moisture drops to almost nothing. Microbial growth slows to a crawl. This isn't just survival food. This is morale. When everything feels heavy and difficult, 1 square of dark chocolate does more psychological work than 3 cans of beans ever will. Storage. Temperature is the killer. Keep it cool, sealed, away from light and heat. Food storage testing shows dark chocolate holds quality for 2 to 5 years without refrigeration when kept below 18 degrees Celsius. Calories plus comfort. That combination earns the number 2 spot. Almost there. Number 1 is the only food on this list that bacteria flat out refuse to touch. Number 1, pure vanilla extract. This is the quiet legend of your pantry, and most people walk right past it without knowing what it actually is. Pure vanilla extract is one of the only foods that gets better with age, not worse, better. The alcohol content, which must be at least 35% by law, acts as a permanent preservative. While other foods rot and degrade, vanilla matures. The flavor profile deepens. The aroma becomes richer. Bacteria don't stand a chance in a high alcohol environment. This isn't about clever storage. This is chemistry working in your favor from day one. How to store. Dark bottle to block sunlight. Stored upright in a cool, dark cabinet. That's all it needs. Treated right, it outlives almost everything else you own. It's not just a baking ingredient. It's a forever food hiding on the grocery shelf for under $5. A lifetime investment that tastes better the longer you hold it. That is number 1 on the food scanner list. You just scanned 20 foods that bacteria can't touch and time can't kill. Stack these right, store them properly, and your pantry becomes something most people don't have. A real backup that doesn't depend on grocery store shelves staying full. But knowing what to stockpile is only half the battle. Next video. Food scanner goes inside the grocery store aisle by aisle. We're telling you exactly which brands to pick up and which ones to put straight back on the shelf. You don't want to miss it. Hit subscribe so it lands in your feed the moment it drops.